For 3 decades, the firearms industry operated on an unspoken law. If you wanted a pistol built for professionals, you paid a professional price. The duty-grade platforms carried by federal agents, military contractors, and competitive shooters existed behind a financial wall that most working Americans simply could not cross. That wall came down in 2026. A convergence of modular chassis engineering, direct mount optics technology, and ruthless manufacturing efficiency has shattered the old hierarchy. The features that once lived exclusively inside custom shop builds costing well over $1,000 now ship standard in pistols, priced under $600. Serialized fire control units, multi-footprint optics cuts with zero adapter plates, competition-grade ergonomics straight from the factory box. This is not a list of budget compromises. This is a list of 5 platforms that redrew the boundary between what is affordable and what is capable. 5 pistols that looked the established order in the eye and refused to blink. These are the top 5 new 9mm pistols delivering exceptional value in 2026. Ranked from 5 to 1. No filler, no fluff. Only steel, polymer, and cold mechanical truth. There is an old assumption in the American firearms market. Brazilian-made means budget grade. The Taurus TX9 was engineered specifically to destroy that assumption. The TX9 does not arrive as a clone. It arrives as an original. A striker-fired platform built on a serialized stainless steel chassis, housed inside a textured polymer grip module. Full-size, compact, subcompact, 3 configurations, 1 serialized core. Swap the frame without buying a new firearm. That is not a budget feature. That is the same modular philosophy driving platforms costing twice the price. The slide is machined from alloy steel and finished in nitride and diamond-like carbon coating. The same finish, the same hardness, the same corrosion resistance you find on duty-grade steel at premium price points. The grip geometry is engineered to ride high on the bore axis, pulling muzzle flip down and driving follow-up shots back on target faster than the competition at this price tier has any right to expect. Range testing confirmed what the engineering promised. Cycling reliably through everything from 95 grain practice loads to 150 grain suppressed ammunition without a single failure. At 25 yards, Spear 124 grain gold dot groups averaged 3.5 inches. Federal 147 grain HST held 3.6. That is duty grade accuracy at a range day price. 4 interchangeable backstraps ship in the box. Fully ambidextrous slide locks, a reversible magazine release. The iron sights run Glock pattern cuts, meaning the entire aftermarket opens up without an adapter. The TX9 full size carries a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $438. The compact configuration retails at $469. The subcompact at $499. The deal breaker, the flat-faced trigger reset, is soft. No audible click, no tactile snap. Operators transitioning from Glock or SIG triggers will need deliberate range time to recalibrate their reset discipline. At this price, that is a training cost, not a deal breaker. But it is real, and it deserves to be named. In 2023, Magpul built the best polymer grip in the handgun industry and had no pistol to put it on. Ruger had the engineering infrastructure, the manufacturing capacity, and the serialized chassis architecture. The conversation that followed produced something the market had not seen before. A collaborative duty pistol designed from 2 directions simultaneously, meeting in the middle at $499. The Ruger RXM is not a Glock, but it runs everything a Glock runs. That distinction is deliberate and surgical. The serialized element is a removable stainless steel fire control insert identical in philosophy to the Sig Sauer P320 chassis. Swap grip frames without paperwork, without background checks, without regulatory friction. The grip module itself is Magpul's enhanced handgun grip, wrapped in their proprietary 3/4 scale TSP texture. Not aggressive enough to shred a bare hand. Not smooth enough to lose purchase under sweat and stress. Exactly calibrated for the middle ground where duty pistols live. The slide ships direct cut for 3 dominant optics footprints: Trijicon RMR, Leupold Delta Point Pro, Shield RMSC. No adapter plates, no stacking tolerances. And then Ruger does something almost no manufacturer at this price point does. They install a factory tritium night sight in the front position, straight from the box. Then comes the strategic masterstroke: double-stack Glock pattern magazine compatibility. 3rd generation Glock aftermarket parts, Glock holsters. The entire vast, deeply competitive, ruthlessly affordable Glock support infrastructure available to RXM owners on day one. Replacement grip modules retail for under $40. The aftermarket is not coming. It is already there. Street price on the RXM runs between $369 and $429 at most retail channels, making the factory tritium night sight essentially free when compared against any competitor at this tier. The deal breaker: the RXM introduces no new performance dynamics. The trigger is serviceable, not exceptional. The Glock pattern internals place a ceiling on what refinements are architecturally possible. This is a platform built on proven infrastructure, not pioneering engineering. For buyers who need innovation, look elsewhere. For buyers who need reliability, logistics simplicity, and immediate aftermarket depth, the RXM is a near-perfect answer. FN Herstal has spent over a century building the machine guns, battle rifles, and special operations sidearms that define modern warfare. Their manufacturing tolerances are measured in fractions that most civilian producers never attempt. Their barrels are specified to military contract standards. Their reliability data is written in operational after-action reports, not controlled range environments. For most of that century, you paid accordingly. The FN 309 MRD is the moment FN decided that exclusivity was leaving money on the table. This is not a stripped-down, cost-compromised shadow of the FN lineup. The 3.8-inch barrel is machined from machine gun-grade alloy steel with a recessed target crown. The same material specification. The same crown geometry that protects rifling integrity at the muzzle from the moment the round exits. The internal architecture runs a double-action-only hammer mechanism, rather than a conventional striker system, delivering a 5-pound trigger pull with a clean break and a predictable reset that competitive shooters spend hundreds of dollars trying to replicate through aftermarket work. But the engineering decision that separates the 309 MRD from everything else at this price point is not about the trigger. It is about who can actually operate the platform. FN reduced slide racking force by 25% compared to traditional tactical handguns. They engineered proprietary polymer-bodied magazines that require 40% less spring loading force to fill. 16 rounds flush fit, 20 rounds extended. Both available for approximately $20 to $25 per unit. For first-time defensive buyers, for shooters with limited hand strength, for training academies, running hundreds of new students annually through a single platform, these numbers are not minor ergonomic refinements. They are the difference between a firearm someone can operate under stress and one they cannot. Disassembly requires no trigger pull. That single design decision eliminates the most common source of negligent discharges during routine maintenance. 1,160 rounds through a single sample during high-temperature endurance testing. 0 serious malfunctions. That is the FN reliability standard, now available at $549. The deal breaker. The 309 MRD runs proprietary magazines incompatible with the FN 509 or the Reflex series. Entering this ecosystem means committing to a separate magazine supply chain. For buyers already invested in other FN platforms, that friction is real and should be calculated before purchase. There is a specific kind of shooter the American concealed carry market has historically underserved. Not the competition shooter with a race gun and a dedicated range bag. Not the duty officer with a department-issued platform and a government armorer on call. The everyday carrier. The professional who moves through civilian life with a concealed pistol on their hip 16 hours a day. Who needs the pistol to disappear under a cover garment and then perform like a competition gun the moment the situation demands it. The Tisas PX9 Carry Comp was built for exactly that person. Imported by SDS Arms, the PX9 Carry Comp arrives as a striker-fired compact engineered around the two demands that define serious everyday carry, concealability and performance. Not one at the expense of the other. Both simultaneously in the same frame. The grip module is built around a polymer-flared magazine well. Not a subtle bevel. A genuine competition-grade flare that guides magazines home under stress, under darkness, under the degraded fine motor control that high adrenaline situations produce in every human being, regardless of training level. Reload speed is not a competition luxury. It is a defensive necessity, and the PX9 Carry Comp treats it accordingly. The platform ships with both 15-round and 17-round double-stack magazines built on the common 228 pattern geometry, giving the operator the choice between a flush carry profile and an extended capacity option without purchasing a separate firearm. Controls are fully ambidextrous. The grip geometry is designed to adapt across hand sizes and shooting styles without requiring backstrap swaps or aftermarket modifications. Initial field evaluations in 2026 confirm a balanced profile. Muzzle control is exceptional for a compact frame. The competition-grade feature set translates directly into faster target reacquisition and more intuitive handling under dynamic conditions. At $562.20, the PX9 Carry Comp delivers a feature-to-price ratio that purpose-built competition carry pistols at twice the price struggle to match. The deal breaker. The 228 magazine pattern is a niche ecosystem. It is not Glock, it is not SIG. Sourcing spare magazines requires deliberate procurement effort, and holster availability in 2026 remains limited to custom and semi-custom options. For buyers willing to solve those logistical puzzles, the performance reward is substantial. For buyers who need plug-and-play accessory infrastructure on day one, that friction is a genuine operational liability. Every generation of firearms technology produces one platform that renders the question of price irrelevant. Not because it is cheap, not because it is expensive, because the architecture underneath it is so fundamentally correct that the number on the price tag becomes secondary to the engineering conversation it opens. In 2026, that platform costs $599, and it is built by Springfield Armory. The Echelon Alpha 4.0C does not arrive as a budget pistol wearing a premium badge. It arrives as a deliberate surgical entry point into one of the most sophisticated modular handgun ecosystems ever engineered for the American civilian market. Springfield made specific, calculated decisions about what to remove to hit this price point. They recontoured the slide with deeper, more uniform serration cuts that reduce CNC machining complexity without sacrificing grip or function. They replaced the aluminum optics cover plate with a high-strength polymer plate. They substituted the tritium night sights with a white dot front and a tactical U-dot rear. Every one of those decisions is cosmetic or immediately replaceable. None of them touch the architecture. What Springfield did not remove is the central operating group, the serialized stainless steel chassis that is the legal and mechanical heart of the entire Echelon platform. The COG is fully interchangeable across every Echelon grip frame, every Echelon slide, every Echelon magazine in the lineup. A buyer who purchases the Alpha 4.0C at $599 today owns a serialized chassis that can accept a full-size duty frame tomorrow, a competition slide the following year, and every engineering advancement Springfield builds into the Echelon ecosystem for the foreseeable future. This is not a dead-end purchase. This is a foundation. And then there is the variable interface system. The VIS is Springfield's patent-pending direct optics mounting architecture. Self-locking pins, 0 adapter plates, 0 stacking tolerances, direct low-profile mounting for over 30 different red dot footprints, Trijicon, Holosun, Loophole, Shield, Vortex, the entire modern red dot market, accessible without a single intermediate hardware purchase. The engineering implications of this are profound. Every adapter plate eliminated removes a tolerance stack. Every tolerance stack removed improves mechanical zero retention. Every improvement in zero retention translates directly into first-round hit probability when the situation does not allow for a second shot. The platform weighs 24 ounces with a flush magazine, 7.25 inches overall length, 5.125 inches in height, 1.2 inches of grip width, slim enough to disappear under a cover garment, heavy enough to absorb recoil with authority. For restricted jurisdictions, Springfield ships a 10-round configuration at the standard $599 price point. A California-compliant model integrating a magazine disconnect safety and a loaded chamber indicator is available at $649. The only genuine limitation is the absence of tritium night sights from the factory package. For operators deploying the Alpha 4.0C as a primary low-light defensive tool, an immediate aftermarket night sight upgrade should be budgeted alongside the initial purchase. That upgrade costs money. It does not cost architecture, and architecture in 2026 is everything. $599. One central operating group, 30 red dot footprints, unlimited modular future. The Springfield Armory Echelon Alpha 4.0C is not the most affordable pistol on this list. It is the most intelligent investment on this list. And in a market that has finally decided to stop making budget buyers choose between price and capability, that distinction means everything. Five pistols. 5 different answers to the same question the American firearms market has been asking for 30 years. Why should professional-grade capability cost a professional-grade salary? In 2026, it does not have to. The Taurus TX9 proved that modular chassis architecture has no minimum price floor. The Ruger RXM proved that open ecosystem compatibility is a more powerful competitive weapon than proprietary exclusivity. The FN 309 MRD proved that a century of military manufacturing excellence does not have to stay behind a premium price wall. The Tisas PX9 Carry Comp proved that competition-grade handling and everyday concealment are not mutually exclusive engineering objectives. And the Springfield Armory Echelon Alpha 4.0C proved that a $599 purchase can be the smartest long-term investment a serious shooter makes in this decade. The old hierarchy is not struggling, it is finished. The question is no longer whether you can afford a capable defensive pistol. The question is which architecture you want to build your future on. Modular chassis, open ecosystem, reduced operational threshold, compact performance, or maximum future-proofing. 5 platforms, 5 answers, all of them under $600. If this analysis gave you the intelligence you needed to make that decision, you know what to do. Hit subscribe. Not because we asked nicely, because the next list drops soon. And the shooters who are already here will be the ones ready for it.